All right, so we are live. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to day one of the 15-day series where we talk all things funnels, all things automations. And this is literally designed to give you the step by step things that you need to know before you try and set up your next funnels, before you decide to hire anybody for your business, or before you think this is so chaotic, or you use Go High Level, you use Kajabi, you use multiple different funnels, and you have been constantly burnt out. You have no idea what to do. You have no idea how to make this entire funnel scenario work. You are a coach, you are a creator, and you're literally struggling to make this happen. Then this 15-day systems challenge is for you. And my intention around this is to get you to where you want to be, especially with your business systems, with your backend automations, because I am a funnels and systems girly. So, to help you set up for success in 2026, because the marketing scenario in 2026 is going to be very, very different. It's going to sit very differently, and how social channels interpret all of the things that you see that you have is completely different. So without further ado, if you are new here, if you have never met me, welcome. My name is Amsa, and I am the creative head behind Funnel Growth Company, and my website is funnelgrowth.design. Go ahead, take your time to check through all of the information that I put together for coaches and creators. And I do have a bit of my notes here, so I'll be referencing back and forth here. So don't mind me going up and down. So, yeah, before you do anything with your Go High Level account, there is one thing I want you to understand, right? Whether you use, like I mentioned, you have invested too much money in your systems, you have tried hiring multiple different people, you think that every person you talk to says they know marketing, but they're just funnel builders or they're just designers. And a marketing consultant so heavy, sounds so chaotic, sounds super new to you, I want you to just pause for 5 seconds, right? Five, four, three, two, one. Because what happens in 2026 is it's just not going to be about the design of your funnels. It's not just going to be about you investing in a web designer where they claim they can do things for you, but it's majorly about the back-end automations. You can have a beautiful front end, which is your design, your copy, your everything. Like I always say, your design stops the scroll for a few seconds. That's it. When you have a lot of clear spacing, when you have a lot of things, it gives people the mental clarity to decide and say that, okay, you're not an amateur. That's just all it can say. But your copy goes and gets them to scroll down the page and actually tell them that it is for them. And then your backend automation, the ones that actually convert, that actually tells people, hey, this is the thing that she is great at. If you have abandoned your cart, go ahead, take a look at it, and then we do a set of sequences, set of emails, and those are strategically planned and designed for your audiences to actually take action. That's how the backend automations work. And 2026 is going to be all about self liquidating offers. And for that, we start today by creating clarity with your offer. And so the way we do that is basically through auditing your existing systems. And now is the best time for you to start auditing your systems, because everybody is in the holiday mood and people have no idea. Sometimes they just keep purchasing too many random things, you have too many softwares. Now is the best time to audit your existing softwares and actually see if this is even the right thing that you want to be doing for your business. Now, before that, let me begin sharing my screen because I have some really good information for you guys. So, all right. So, I have worked with 35 plus coaches who have been featured on Inc., who have been featured on sorry, who have been featured on Inc., who have been featured on entrepreneur.com, on Disrupt, all of these things. And the reason why these clients start working with me pretty much is basically they start with what's called a clarity sprint, where we audit all of their systems, and I tell them exactly what they need and so on and so forth. But what converts them is the ability to see how we set up the backend systems. So through the next 15 days, I'm going to be giving you little bits of information where, if you and I want to work together, if you need all of these things done for you, you can always go to my website, funnelgrowth.design, and schedule a call with me. Those are direct done for you packages. So the first thing is where we set up your initial systems, if you don't have a system yet. And the second thing is, if you already have the systems and you're making $10,000 in your business, you can go with, setting up your webinars and your retargeting ads and all of that. But if you do not have anything in place, we start with what's called the clarity sprint. And whatever things I do in clarity sprint, the little bits and pieces is what I'm giving you here. We include like a full-fledged map. I tell you what exactly you need in your business. So it's all like beautifully mapped out. So you have like a plan. You can take it and run away with it. Or if you don't want it, you want it done for your system, then you and I work together. So the first thing, like I always do there, is basically start with your offer clarity. I see the existing systems that you have in your business, and then I tell you what needs to be utilized, because you expect anybody you decide to work with to scrape things off when they begin with. But that's not what we are trying to do today. You have built your systems, you have built things around your business for a reason. And my goal is not to help you strip things from your systems, but my goal is to help you, tell you, and help you audit the systems that you already have and that you can actually make use of in your business. So here's the that most coaches make, right? They begin because they panic, they work with a lot of wrong people, and they work with people who just say designs are important, and then they work with people who say, oh yeah, systems are important, and then every time they do, they try to strip things off of their business and they add more chaos. But because you and I are in this challenge, what I'm going to tell you as your mentor, as your coach, is that you do not have to redo everything from scratch. If something is not working, you need to audit it. You need to see what's not working, take a pause, and actually start reworking on it, or actually start, editing it, actually start seeing why something is not working. All right, that's the first step. You don't have to rewrite everything in your business. You don't have to redesign anything in your business until you do this audit, and you do not have to rebuild anything. And I'm telling you this simply because one of the coaches I recently worked with, and I just handed over her entire self liquidating offer funnel, which is basically a low ticket offer, which takes them into a mid ticket offer, and then it takes them into her high ticket through a webinar, is something that we did. And the mistake that she has done after being in business for so long is the fact that she always goes back and rewrites her copy. She always goes back and renames her course. And she came to a point where even she could not understand what was going on in her business. Even she could not see what's happening in the business. Even she did not know what she was doing, how her name was, right? What the name of the offer was. All of these things happened. And the first thing that I did, as soon as I got her on a clarity sprint, which I usually do for $297, and then you could use the coupon that's in the description. You can get it for a 57% off. So what you would see here is that I removed her out of her panic because she was panicking. She tried changing the names of her offers multiple times that she wouldn't remember what she was talking about. So I tweaked everything, and then because she was panicking and because she did not have a strategy, what we did initially was to actually create a strategy around what was working. She was not failing at her business because that's what she thought was happening. And when she came into the business, when she came into the call, she saw that the problem was her, where she was trying to redo things too much at a time. And she did not know what to tweak because she was burnt out. She was tired of tweaking things, right? So she was lacking clarity. So that's exactly what business. So of the coaches do this and they think that it is completely okay to keep tweaking things is that they realize at some point they feel burnt out. And the reason why this happens, obviously, is because the offer is not clear. You do not know what you're selling, and then you expect your audiences to actually go back and realize that this is what you're selling. Oftentimes, people make tens and thousands of dollars in their business, but they do not know what they are making that money for, what is happening in their business, who's even the audience, who's even buying what they're trying to say, right? So, all of that things that they think is working in their business fails at some point, and it's because the happens when your offer is not clear is that suddenly your back end looks any tags in place. You have no idea what's even happening in your idea why your automations are not converting. You have no idea why that email was sent or was not sent. You have no idea why your leads are confused. You have no idea why your leads are not getting converted. You are stuck not knowing why your sales are inconsistent. And because you're confused, you are getting your audiences to be confused, and you are not able to systematize your business, which leads to confusion. And remember, you cannot systematize confusion, which is one of the biggest things for you to now. So here is what's actually happening in your back. Offer is not clear. You start having your funnels which become disconnected. And funnels are nothing but a series of landing pages. And if you have never created a funnel, or if you're even terrified of the word funnel, basically those are series of landing pages which connects a low ticket to a mid ticket offer, or a low ticket to membership. Oftentimes my best example would be Russell Brunson's, right? If you have gone to any of his events, if you have gone to the ClickFunnels event, or if you have gone to obviously the WebinarCon event, which I was at very recently, you can see that when you go in to purchase a subscription, they sell you multiple different things in the back end. Those are called as upsells. So that's what they call. There are a lot of upsells, there are a lot of downsells. And when you click on an offer, sometimes you become so tired because they pack you up with so many different offers. Sign up to this, sign up to this. Do you want to try this? Do you want to do that for another 60 days? Do you want to add this to another 60 days? Do you want to be a part of our membership? Or do you want to buy my $297 product? These are a series of upsells that people have. And these interconnected landing pages are just the front end that you see. For this to work effortlessly, there are a few different things in the back end that we do, which actually creates things. Now, when you don't have clarity with your offers and you keep changing everything, all of the tags and segmentations that we do in the back end, especially because I love Go High Level. I've done things with Go High Level, with ClickFunnels, with Active Campaign 99% of the times, and with ManyChat automations. What I see people doing is they have one offer, and then they rename the offer. They have all of the tags, everything put together, and then they rename the offer maybe in, like, say, 90 days because it's not working. They forget to change and edit these tags. They forget to remove the tags from the first offer. Instead, they add more. And what happens is they are not sure why this tag is here and why this tag is here, and they have no idea what is actually going on in their business. And then they say funnels are not working because they would have connected all of the automations to the first offer and not to the second offer. So this is something I see in the clarity sprint session a lot with a lot of my clients. And in fact, I started realizing that they, instead of getting strategy, they started paying me to just clear their backends and actually redo their backends. I think that's what clarity sprint sessions are actually utilized for a lot of my clients. So your funnels feel disconnected. You do not know which offer it is connecting to, and then you start getting random automations triggered. When somebody signs up to your new offer, the automations from your existing offer shows up, which is way chaotic, which is very annoying for your audiences. Let's say they would have signed up for something called this clarity sprint, and then they get emails from what's called the offer reset because you have forgotten to edit those automations. So random automations are firing, and then your old emails are still firing. Let's say you have a different old email name altogether. You did not edit it for your new version, so that starts firing. and then multiple offers start competing, so you do not know what happens. Like I mentioned, people started utilizing Clarity Sprint. Instead of getting the systems map, they started asking me to clear it out, give them all of the naming conventions so they can just stick with it. So what I see is that most backends actually becomes garages, which means you go there, you dump all of the information because you think that the front end is what needs to be beautiful, and you start dumping things in the back end, which is when they stop becoming engines. Well, when they should be engines, they become your garages where you stuck information there, where you're stuck with your growth, and you're not utilizing them as powerful engines because they need to start bringing money, making sales for you. So your offers can easily break your systems, right? When your offer is not clear, which is why we are talking about resetting everything. Have one offer title, have one offer name, and you need to be just utilizing this for the next, let's say, for 6 months, all right? Next 120 days, if I'm right, you need to start utilizing your offer name, your offer tags. And oftentimes, the name is not the title of your offer itself, is not what's causing the problem. It's the backend, right? So, what happens is when your offer is not clear, when you're changing too many at the same time, you're not understanding what sort of lead magnets you should create, because 2026 lead magnets are coming back. And the best lead magnet, if you want the secret out, is a quiz funnel. Quiz funnel converts at 60% when an average PDF or anything else converts only anywhere between 18 to 23%, right? So quizzes are what a lot of my audiences are going with. That's what they all want done in their business. So your lead qualification obviously becomes non-existent because you don't know the name of the offer. So you do not know what needs to be done. So obviously your lead qualification literally does not exist, or it does not segment audiences when you should be taking your audiences from a lead magnet, let's say, to a $27 product. It literally is non-existent. So you have no idea what's going on, you have no idea what needs to be done, and so it's not working properly. And then you come back and you tell me funnels don't work. I don't trust people who talks about marketing anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and invest another $3,000 in a new program, which I do not know how long it'll take for me to monetize, instead of actually finding the right person who knows strategy. I talk strategy to most of my clients before I build anything out. That's how I work as a marketing consultant, because when I know my strategy, I know what I'm going to deploy. My offer is clear, so I know exactly what you need in your business, right? Which is why I have two packages on my website, if you see. The first package, because I am clear with my offer, actually works with need is clear offers and leads. What sort of interconnected offers can they do, which I create for you? How TB. So all of these things are done for you in the package if you see on my website. The second package, because I know my offer really, really well, again, as an example, is that people who have made at least 15 or $20,000 online with their existing programs do not want to retweak their offer. Instead, they want to add, oftentimes, they just want to retweak how their offer is positioned. For instance, they are selling multiple things, without an order. They want me to order it, they want me to align it, they want me to put things in the back end so they can add a high ticket program sales. And oftentimes, people who have done $15,000 to $20,000 with the same program want me to make it completely automated. So we set up automated systems, and then we do things in such a way that it sells when they're on a vacation. We do retargeting ads because now, because they have a system, it's about amplifying things, if that makes sense. All right. So what happens again, because your offer isn't clear, is because your webinar, let's say you are in the first set where you have never made $10,000 online. So your webinar educates people, but it obviously doesn't convert them. Your funnel stops working. So anytime you're promoting your offer somewhere, People just come to you and they say, hey, I don't think your webinar is working. I don't think the link to this is working. I don't think that the link to your lead magnet is working. I never got a lead magnet through, an email. Can you just send it to me? And what happens is people start losing trust in your business. You start losing the value in your business, which is what typically happens. All right. Then your funnel stops after the first page. Oftentimes, if you are DIYing your funnel or you work with somebody who charges low, you went with somebody just because they charge low. They just spoke about funnel design. They never spoke about a strategy. I'm sorry I'm repeating this because this is what my clients have actually told me that their pain points were. They've trusted too many people and they never saw if they knew their strategy, right? Their funnels stalled after their first page. Yesterday, I audited a funnel and I saw that it was stuck with their lead magnet. They said they have like 7 different offers in the back end. They were below $10,000 a month. And the first page just stuck. I could not load the next page. And also, I did not see any emails come through. I could not go to their $27 offer. And all of these chaos began. And they started panicking, right? So your course starts feeling disconnected from your higher offers. Your emails do send, but they do not sound intentional because it sounds like you did not create this program. Someone else created it, or you just get templates from 10 different sources. You paste it together, so it was not created with intention. And obviously, your backend support you, right? This is why most people think their backend is broken. And the truth is, it's not. The problem is that your system is reacting to an unclear setup or an unclear offer upstream, if that makes sense. So the problem is not with the backend. The problem is not with the tools. The problem is about how you have positioned your system, right? Let me go into an actual client example. And I delivered this client's work, like I would say about 3 months back, if I'm right. And she is a perfect example here because she started with my Clarity Sprint offer. And she calls herself a divine femininity coach. And her work is amazing. She has been in this industry doing this for almost 4.5 years. And here are the things. When she signed up for my Clarity Sprint session, and then she moved on, she saw all of the maps, she saw the way I positioned her offer, and then she moved on to investing about $8,500 with me. So the first thing she did here is that she came to me with all of this. She told me the exact same things, which is many people, nothing is working. I do not know if this thing is even going to work. I don't know if I even have to spend my money on this, waste my time on this, all of this. So when I audited, simply, I just told her, fine, just sign up to the Clarity Sprint. Let me audit your offer. And here are the things I actually saw. She had good information, but she had the irrelevant information, if that makes sense. So the first thing she had was obviously an automated webinar, which she did not need for a $297 product because she did not build trust with her audiences yet. Um, you know, but it's okay. She had one, she recorded one. I was totally fine with that. So she had an automated webinar. Multiple different courses existed. Not one, not two. She had about 7 different offers in the back end. I would say about 8. And then she was promoting it manually every day. She would go randomly template to promote on Instagram. She would just promote it. She didn't want to show her. And then, she went ahead and then said, back in Clarity, my audiences are not buying from me. There is no clear buyer path, all of that stuff. So what then happened is obviously the fact that there was no clear buyer path. She did not know where her audiences were coming from. She did not know what was happening in her business. She did not know where her audiences went. She did not know what sales were being made because there were no tags, there were no segmentations. She did not know if her audiences were coming from threads or from Instagram or from YouTube or from Pinterest. She relied on one particular source, which was Instagram, which was fine, no issues at all. But because everything felt so inconsistent and no proper segmentation, she did not know what to do in her business. So she went for years without consistent revenue. She's been in business for 4.5 years and she has never been able to make $10,000 at the stretch. And when I saw that, she had some amazing resources which needed a bit of tweaking. And what I saw was the webinar was not wrong, the courses were not wrong, but the way she positioned her offer and the backend system, because they were not interconnected with each other, that's where the problem was. There was no business, which caused the issue. All right. So problems when she came into the clarity sprint, and she had already made up her mind when I gave her the sprint. Here's what we did. We first clarified what was already working. Like I mentioned, I don't strip things down and say you need to create, like a whole new world right now. I see what's working in your business right now. So I told her the webinar was working, but what needed tweaking, the offers were working, but how do we need to reposition it and all of the things. Then I told her I'm going to reuse the existing programs, but in a strategical way. And I love self-liquidating offer funnels where you go from one and then you click so many of the things and then it leads you into your high ticket program, all of that. And then we added what's called a quiz to the front end. So she could tag her quiz to Pinterest. And then we made it so it has an average 60% click-through rate, and people love. And with her email, with her PDF, she was just getting about coming into it. So we added a quiz. So anytime somebody wanted to speak to her about her business, where we created a few different offers and segmentations in the backend, I told her that the audiences need to start with the quiz because I had beautiful backend segmentations things into a few different specific offers for her. We segmented her buyers, like I mentioned, into three different types. I set up all of the automations in the backend on Go High Level, which I'll show you in a minute. And then I sent each of this segment, depending on where they were, to one of her ebooks that has massive, massive value with a lot of videos in the backend, which she wanted to sell for $47. She had it for just $7. We stripped it all off. The only thing I did was tweaking the copy and tweaking the pricing because she gave way too much information for just $7, and it's not going to position her as an authority. Sometimes you just have to increase the price to show that it matches with the value so people don't think your information is basic. Audience is what they wanted. And then we sold them in the back end to her $297 offer. I think it was $497. And then we sold them the $2,500 high ticket one-on-one coaching package. All right. Now, so this is where we gave her a clear path. There was traffic coming in from Instagram, which you could also copy. You can use the exact same system right now. So we took them from the traffic to the quiz to giving people three buyer segmentation paths. So we told them exactly what they wanted, right? She had the exact same offers, but I just gave them a clear system, which is they come from the quiz, they go in, we segment them into three different options. Because a lot of people, 90% of your audiences are tire kickers when they find you on social media. I need to warm them up, or she needs to warm them up in order for them to go from tire kickers to a semi, warm audience. And then they become your hot audiences. You need to give them the time, but at the same time, you need to make them ready to buy your offers. And from there, depending on whether they had some money, they would go into their $47 offer. And if they had no money, we would just send them to her automated webinar, right? It nurtures them for a period of time, and then it gives them all of the info that they need to buy her $47 product. Then we send them to the automated webinar and then to the high ticket offer. The same offers, we just gave her a clear system, and that's exactly what you probably need right now in your business. Okay. So it gave her a clear buyer journey. The backend segmentation with tags and automations were just great. The sales flow started coming in. She did not have to guess what was going on in her business, and it gave her some movement in her business without her guessing what has to happen in her business next, right? And this is how it went. We had created for her, right? So this workflow says that they start with a quiz, and then it takes them to the ebook, and then it takes them to the automated webinar. And these are backend automations that we put for her. And then it takes them into the meditation course that she had, which we retweaked for a $97 program. And then, we sent her to all of the high ticket, mid ticket offers in the backend. So this is just an overall of all of that she has. And this is how we segmented audiences in the backend, right? not giving too much information away here because I do not want to confuse you when you're doing. So this is exactly how things happen in the back end, all of the workflows, all of the calculations that happens. And a lot of these happens inside Go High Level. So if you're trying to use one platform that can do all of this magic, I recommend the white label version of Go High Level. I can leave the link below. It's $97 a month. It's my affiliate link. You can feel free to use that, test it for 30 days and then upgrade it. So use the affiliate link so you get 30 days off it. And then we set up workflows and pipelines, so anytime somebody completed a quiz, they move through this list. So when they're registered for the quiz, it takes them through one of the pipelines, and then they register for the webinar, it automatically moves them, so she doesn't have to do anything manually, right? That is amazing, right? That's something you want for your business as well. Now, like I mentioned, the goal was never to make the client something new. And the goal was to clarify what was already working for her, the systems around it. So once I clarified her offer through the clarity sprint, which you can, find the link in the description below, I then helped her upgrade to the exact tier to do this all one just about 3 weeks for her. Everything was ready, everything was done. She knew exactly, without any of the chaos, without any of the confusion. So, if you're ready to master your offer today, here are a few things that I want you to do. Okay, these are the exact tasks. Take a pen and paper, and I want you to list down all of the offers that you have in your business, all of the offers that has worked, that has not worked, anything, put it in order. Freebie, start with this, start with a freebie list, then go to your lowest tier, then tell me what are the other offers that you have, and then say who is this offer for, because a lot of times you have a great offer but you don't know who you're selling it to. So decide who you're selling it to. Only 1 to 2 audiences. You might say this is for coaches, course creators, consultants, authors, and whatnot. No, your offer just works always for 1 or 2 people. It works for coaches. If it's for coaches, tell me which sort of coach, business coach, wellness coach. Be very specific. So write down the specifics. Number 2 is write down what main problem does your offer solve? Does it help them get more leads? Does it help them get through any of the confusion that they have in their business? What does it help them with? And number 3 is what does success look like for them after they complete your course? These are just the little nitty gritty things that you need to write down today, a clear system. Number 4, which I would like to add for you, is to understand what backend tags, automations, or systems or emails that you have in place. All right. So these are the things which are really going to help you understand what you have in your business, what's working, what's not, what's causing any of the confusion that you first have. Start here and everything follows your way. Then you can always plan things. And as always, if you need any more questions, or if you have questions, feel free to, comment right below this video. I'll be happy to answer any of the questions for you. So come back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern for you to understand how we can amplify these systems and how the backends can actually make sense for you.